You gotta copy me, you punk? No, you're a punk. No, for real, you're a punk. You're a nobody. You gotta copy me. You can't be your own person.
On March 11th, 2015, an unconscious woman was discovered in the stairwell of an apartment building. Medics were called. They attempted to resuscitate the woman, but to no avail. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The deceased woman had no identification on her. However, a cell phone was found in a nearby hallway. The police, upon recovering the cell phone, noticed that the phone was receiving text messages. They texted back, and an older woman, Jacqueline Driver, who lived in the same apartment building, came to the stairwell. Jacqueline identified the deceased woman as Elizabeth Wright. Elizabeth Wright had previously lived with Jacqueline, but was kicked out after having stolen Jacqueline's credit card. From that point on, Elizabeth had been sleeping in the stairwell of the apartment complex. Jacqueline told the police that Elizabeth was a drug user. She also informed the police that Elizabeth had been at Jacqueline's apartment earlier in the day, but left after the two had an argument about the stolen credit card. The police did not, at the time, consider the death a homicide, and Jacqueline was not questioned further. Elizabeth's body was sent to a medical examiner for a post-mortem examination for the sake of determining the cause of death. Her death was ruled to be due to a drug overdose, and the case was closed. 5 years later, Leo Driver, the son of Jacqueline Driver and the ex-boyfriend of Elizabeth Wright, walks into a police station and confesses to the murder of Elizabeth. He stated that he was present at his mother's apartment the night Elizabeth had died. At the apartment, he witnessed Jacqueline and Elizabeth arguing and didn't like the look Elizabeth was giving his mother. Driver believed that Elizabeth was harming his family, and that if he were to kill Elizabeth, he would be helping his family. So, under the guise of wanting a private conversation with Elizabeth, Driver brought her to the stairwell where he strangled her. After killing her, Driver threw Elizabeth's cell phone into the hallway and her purse, which contained her ID, into some bushes. Driver then went to a hospital and sat in a waiting room. He could not remember if he had seen a doctor. This confession seemed to make sense to the police, so they wanted to put it on record and thus brought him into an interrogation room to get a new confession, this time recorded in audio and video form.
Hi there. My name is Detective Stangland, and thank you for coming in and speaking with us. I wanted to let you know this room is audio and video recorded. The recording just started. And so today is the 5th of May, 2020, and it's 1:58 a.m. Would you like a bottle of water or a Coke, or you can have both?
Water, something to eat.
We've got, yeah, we don't have anything nutritious, but we typically have some snacks like some chips. We might have cookies or candy. Is there any of that sound good? Any or all?
Cookies.
If we have anything, it's Oreos, but I'll see what we got.
Okay.
So you want water and Oreos? Do you want a soda?
Yes, please. No, no soda. Water is fine.
All right. Okay. What's your first name?
Leo.
Leo?
Yep.
Okay, Leo. I'll be back with you shortly.
Okay.
My partner, Jeff, has a little bit of a drive to get into Seattle, so it'll be a few minutes. Do you need to use the restroom or anything? Okay. I'll be right back with you. Hey, I'm really sorry we're out of Oreos, so I brought you some cheese and crackers and M&M's, which is kind of the best I have. I apologize for getting your hopes up for cookies.
No, no problem. It's good.
All right.
Thank you.
How you doing? You need anything else? Something else to drink or something else to eat?
No, no, I'm okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, it takes a while because when we have to talk to somebody about something important, we got to kind of do a little research and things like that because this has been a little while since the incident, okay? So that's why. So if you want to make yourself comfortable or put your head down and rest or whatever, feel free, okay?
All right.
I'm sorry for the delay, but we'll be in to talk to you as soon as we can, okay?
Okay.
All right. And you know this room is being recorded so we can watch you from the other room where we're looking up stuff. So if you need something, just kind of wave your arms and we'll come check on you, okay?
Okay.
Hi there. I saw that you were standing up, so I just want to make sure you need. Are you okay?
I got restlessness.
Oh, restless. Okay. I'll get you another water. My sergeant said that our vending machine has a ham sandwich. Is that something you would like?
Yes, please.
Okay, we'll get you that. Yes, he would like a ham sandwich. Okay, thanks. You good on restroom and stuff?
I feel like I gotta use, but.
Okay, let me get a mail officer, and it's right there. Okay, and we'll get you, and I'll get you another water too.
The sergeant grabbed you a sandwich.
That's fine.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, Leo. How was the sandwich?
Awesome.
Was it okay? It's probably gross. You don't have to lie if it was gross. Have you met Jeff? He's Jeff Mudd.
In the hall.
He's a detective. We're not shaking hands
Oh,
because
yes,
of the
we're on
COVID
the
thing. And so, thank you for your patience. I know that you had your Miranda rights read to you before, but we're going to read them to you again. I'm going to say the time. You remember this room's audio and video recorded, right?
Yes.
So it's Tuesday, May 5th, 2020, 3:16 a.m. now. Okay, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. You have the right at this time to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you can't afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any question or make any statements. You have the right to counsel. If you're unable to pay for counsel, you're entitled to have one provided without charge. You're not a juvenile and you're not hearing impaired, are you? Like you're not deaf, you don't have a hearing problem?
No.
Okay, do you understand each of those rights, Leo?
Yes.
Okay. So Jeff and I work, we're detectives with Seattle Police, and we don't know a whole lot about the circumstances of tonight other than we were told that you walked into the East Precinct and you reported that you had killed Elizabeth.
Yeah.
And so the thing that I want to ask you is just make sure that if you decide that you want to talk to us and tell us what happened, that you just are very complete and honest with us, because we want to understand everything. So why don't you just start at well, why don't we get a little bit of background information first, okay? Who is Elizabeth Wright to you? Was she your girlfriend?
The line of questioning you are witnessing is not the standard interrogation practice of extracting a confession. Rather, these detectives are attempting to ensure all the details match the evidence that they currently have. Driver has told the police that he sometimes hears voices and hallucinates. The detectives want to ensure that the specifics of Driver's story matches the hard evidence so that his story cannot be dismissed as the imagination of a man in psychosis. Driver has told the police that he has taken his medication and feels of right mind today. But, as we will soon see, Driver's speech patterns and response times are anything but normal.
She was ex-girl.
Okay. How long had you guys dated?
On and off, 6 years.
That's a long time. Were you guys living together?
No. I mean, not this last time when I went back to her, yeah, we were living together. But before it was on and off.
Okay. And where were you guys living at the time that she died? Do you remember the address?
We were homeless. Yes, we were homeless. And sometimes we'd be staying at my parents' place. My mother.
And what's mom's name?
Jacqueline.
Okay, Jacqueline.
Yeah, Jacqueline.
Okay. And so I have an address of 1823 East Madison as associated with you sometimes. Is that where mom lives or lived at the time?
She used to, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, she used to stay there.
And on the day that Elizabeth died, were you guys staying at that address, or where were you?
We were out, shoplifting.
Okay.
Well, not shoplifting. Well, we were hanging out, and yeah, we decided to stop by.
Okay.
This place.
So I know it's been 5 years since Elizabeth passed away. Why don't you just start at the beginning and tell us everything from start to finish that you remember about that day. Just go through the whole thing, and I'll try not to interrupt you, and just run through everything that happened. Even if it's hard to talk about, take your time, okay?
Okay.
So like maybe start off with, if you remember about when it was. Records show that it was in March, on March 11th. 2015, if you remember what time of day or what, and just say who you were with and what happened.
We were together. We were coming from somewhere. I don't remember. We were coming from somewhere. I can't hardly think of. We were coming from somewhere. My thoughts are messed up.
Okay, where were you when things started? When there started to be a problem, where were you guys at?
We were coming from downtown. We're coming from someplace, either a motel or some place, and I got a phone call from my mother, and she called. From the beginning, like.
Well, just kind of when things started with you and Elizabeth. So were you at your mom's place?
Okay.
Is that where you were? I don't know.
No.
And when I say when things started, I mean when things when she died. I kind of want to know where you were and how that whole thing started.
I am on medication, but
Yeah, I understand.
sorry for the drowsiness. Well, it's complete flip. Okay, so
Driver's strange speech style is consistent with schizophrenia. Two common symptoms of schizophrenia are alogia, or lack of emotion when speaking about otherwise emotional events, and affective flattening, or monotone speech. The detectives might not be well versed in schizophrenia specifically, but their experience with a wide range of people should alert them to the fact that Driver is not in a normal mental state. This not only makes the interrogation frustrating for the detectives, a fact that is obvious from the female detective's body language, but it also makes any progress made via the interview, whether it be a confession or new case facts, tenuous. For example, should the detectives lead the suspect towards certain statements with their line of questioning or gain answers with yes or no questions instead of open-ended questions, the entire confession could be simply thrown out of court. Of course, if Driver did in fact kill Elizabeth Wright, the police have a duty to remove him from society. However, extracting that confession properly is itself a monumental difficulty due to the mental state of the suspect.
Do you remember what it was that you told the officers up at the East Precinct? Why don't we start with that? What did you tell them?
Well, what happened was that I took I didn't take anything. I grabbed, we walked, I can't even, wow, we were coming from someplace, either motel or downtown, and we came to this.
So you ended up at your mom's apartment building or condo? Is it a condo or an apartment? Okay. So you ended up there.
Yeah, just start from what happened when you got to your mom's apartment.
There's an argument.
There was an argument?
I was trying to, I mean, it's just it's not my fault. I should have never introduced her to my family. I should have never came back to her. It's, I mean,
Did your mom and Elizabeth not get along?
I made it, they my mother she's worried about me, and I had like I accused her of cheating. My girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, I accused her of cheating. I would see images of her doing that in my head. Maybe I could have maybe imagined it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe not. And I was she was just worried. My mother was worried. And something was going on. I don't know what happened between the two, but it ended up being her standing over my mother with a face like, you know, she owns her, and I ended up killing her for that.
You killed her for that?
Yeah.
How did you kill her?
I strangled her. Well, not strangled, but I put my hand around her neck, and I don't understand that.
Leo, where were you when you killed her?
I was there. I mean, I was standing in the doorway, and
In the doorway of the apartment or the doorway of someplace else?
at the apartment.
Okay.
Standing in the doorway, and it was I felt that, like, people were trying to I don't know, like, people were attacking her, and but I wouldn't, I am,
Okay, let me ask you
I'm
this.
sorry.
Were you guys facing each other standing up or sitting down or laying down or something else? When this happened, tell me about your position of your bodies.
I was standing in the doorway.
Okay.
I was standing straight. And my mother was sitting down. Like this. And I called my ex-girlfriend Lizzie. I called her Lizzie.
Okay.
Was standing over her, and a face like that she was like nothing, like my mother was nothing. Yeah, that was confirmation for me. Confirmation, and I killed her.
Okay.
I killed her after that, you know.
Okay. Was your mom there when you killed her?
No, I was in the staircase.
Okay, you were in the staircase when you killed her?
Yeah, so we left the apartment,
Okay.
walked down the staircase to the fourth floor, and sat there for a minute, and that's when I killed her.
Okay, when you guys were sitting, were you sitting down when you killed her?
No, she was sitting, we were both sitting, I stood up, got in front of her, and then...
I know it's hard to talk about, but explain to me what you did with your hands, like very specifically. Show me on your own neck if you can, or where you pressed.
So, like, I had, like, my hands like this.
Okay.
And then, like, I had the side, both sides were...
It might be hard to do it on yourself. Maybe you could do it on the table, like pretend that the table
Grab
is...
one of the water bottles.
Yeah.
So, like that, and I would squeeze. It was kind of odd because at first I was at first I kind of like, I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I didn't know how. I didn't want to choke her. Like, choke. I didn't want to hear that. And but it's like I had her by the either cut off the blood supply to her neck, or to her head, and she passed out. And then I started to feel like I knew what I was doing, you know, like I pressed down on her windpipe, so to stop the airflow.
So when you first started, where were you when you first started?
It was I applied pressure on the sides of her neck.
Okay, and
on
she passed out.
She stopped moving. Her eyes were open, but she stopped moving.
And then after she stopped moving, how long do you think that you held on after she stopped moving?
Windpipe, like maybe a minute, I think. Well, yeah, I think it was a while. I wanted to move. After when I jumped on her, at that point, I wanted to make sure she was dead.
Okay.
I just thought if I killed her, everything would go away, you know.
Was she sitting on the stairs at that point? Like would she have had a stair behind her, or was she like flat on the ground? She's
stair behind her, yeah.
Okay. And when you first started touching her neck, how did she react? Did she try to stop you, or was there a fight?
No, she didn't struggle. She was in shock. I think she was in shock. She couldn't believe I was doing that. And,
Did she do anything to try to get your hands away, or?
she just kind of like grabbed my, I forgot what I had, but she grabbed my, my
Jacket, shirt, some item of
It
clothes?
wasn't a hard grab. It wasn't a hard grab. It was. She didn't even attach herself to my my. I don't know if I was carrying a bag, so she kind of like softly tried to grab my bag. This is
Did you pass out pretty quickly, or did it take a while?
She passed out. She passed out.
So she passed out.
Very, not that quick. I think it was quick. Well,
Try to do me a favor.
yes.
Do it again on the water bottle, and try to do it for as long as it happened in real life, like to show us how much time went by before and tell us when she passed out.
What do you want? I'm sorry.
Just to see how long it took her to pass out. Try to hold on the water bottle and just kind of let them the same amount of time go by that you think it took, and then tell me when she passed out.
Well, I held on to the bottle. I mean,
Her neck.
her neck, and then like I was holding on the. So I was holding on the sides. I don't remember. Those are my. Yeah, I was holding on to it. To her neck. Maybe 1 or 2 minutes.
1 or 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, you can stop. And then did you let go and change wear, or did you keep hanging on?
I squeezed down on a windpipe.
And when you say windpipe, where do you mean? Show me on your neck.
Throat.
Right in the
Where
middle.
the oxygen is. Well, I believe the oxygen was going.
And did you press or squeeze or something else?
I pressed. Like I closed my whole hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so you said that you kept squeezing to make sure she was dead because you thought that everything would go away if she died, right?
Yes.
Did you do anything else to her body after she was passed out?
No, I just grabbed the purse and her cell phone. And, that's it.
You took her purse and her cell phone?
Yeah.
Did you take those things with you?
I took it with me and threw it away. I didn't want to. I took all her cards out, so just in case somebody found the bag, her ID wasn't in there.
One of the officers said that you said something about putting something by her face, maybe a pipe or something?
Oh, in the beginning, before I tried to strangle her, or no, I don't know what I call it. Well, I guess it's strangle, but I was running it was a crack pipe, and I was running it. Across her face, not like in a weird, like I'm some kind of. I was.
In his original non-recorded confession to the police, Driver mentioned placing a crack pipe at the scene of the crime. Police at the scene found no crack pipe. For whatever reason, during this recorded confession, Driver changed his story to not include the crack pipe.
I wasn't on there that day too, so I decided I didn't want to use. It was a broken crack pipe, and I didn't want to use that on her. And then I did put the pipe away, and I strangled her after.
Okay, so did you ever end up doing anything to her with the broken crack pipe, or you just?
No, I didn't stab her or nothing
Okay.
like that.
Why did you bring that up to the officer? Was it something you were thinking about? And you did,
It's
because you said, I didn't want to use it on her.
It's every detail. I'm just trying to explain what I did.
Okay, so were you guys smoking crack before this happened?
We did that. We were smoking crack. We were doing heroin, but not prior to all that. Yeah, we did. Well, I can't say. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
But we were getting high every day,
Okay.
so it's a possibility. But it was really weird that because before going there, I was thinking, because it says we're on the metro, and it says, I didn't mention this to the other cop, we're on metro, and when the bus stops at the stop, it says Hearing, Speech, and Deafness Center, and I used that situation to think like because in my psychosis, if somebody says that, that means like, no, you can't see anything, hear anything, or say anything.
Okay.
And I mean, I realize now I'm just a simple person. I don't have powers like that. But at the time, it felt like, because I already had started thinking about killing her. It didn't go off on a whim. I didn't just do it. I was thinking about killing her because it wouldn't be for. I mean, she can't. I mean, I don't see her as like a ringleader for anything, but she definitely manipulated the situation. I mean,
How much time went by between the time that she was standing over your mom, looking at your mom like she was nothing, and the time that you killed her? Was that like the same day, or days later, or weeks later, something else?
The detectives are looking for a believable motive. Right now, they're grasping onto the only reasonable motive Driver has said so far, and therefore ignoring the many other irrational possible explanations that Driver has given for the murder, including, quote-unquote, being manipulated by his ex, and the belief that killing his ex would somehow help his family. Moreover, the only rational reason Driver has given isn't all that rational, as it includes mind reading. He said, "She was looking at my mom like she was better than her." Perhaps Driver really did feel that Elizabeth looked down upon his mother, but a single instance based on a subjective interpretation of a facial expression does not act as a strong support to such an idea.
no, it was. Sorry, explain again.
How much time went by between when she stood over your mom and looked at her like she was nothing,
Okay.
and the time that you killed Lizzie? Because I'm just confused if it was the same day or different days.
Same day.
It was the same day.
Yeah, it was like it was like they were talking. She said something about. My mother said something about she can't see or something, and then after I went over there to I think I went over there to stop her, like try to stop the confrontation, and that look she made was confirmation for me that she had something to do with it. And so then did use that. I did use that as
Well-
sorry.
That's okay. When did you decide that you were going to kill Lizzie?
That day, when I heard that here at Speech and Deafness Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was that when you were on the bus?
Yes.
And was that on the way to your mom's?
Yes.
Okay.
And,
So tell me if I got this right and correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
You decided to kill her on the way to your mom's before, or you were thinking about killing her before she had the confrontation with your mom. Is that right? Because you saw the hearing, speech, and deafness sign on the bus.
yeah. I'm sorry.
Is that right, that you started thinking about killing her then?
Yeah. When
And-
I heard the Hearing, Speech and Deafness Center. Yeah.
Okay, and so then when you got to your mom's, there was a confrontation, and you said that was confirmation for you.
The facial expression that Lizzie made, that was confirmation for me.
And what was it confirmation of?
That the way she looked at her, like she was in control. That I mean, I could be wrong, but
Okay.
like she could do anything to her, you know.
And you
Like,
said,
there was no like the way she was disgusted at her, you know.
and then after that happened,
Yeah.
did you guys go to the stairwell right after that?
No, I think I went to her, broke them up, what
Okay.
got between them, took her out to the staircase. I sat down, talked to her, and yeah, I mean, I tried to tell her to get away from me, but I took her down to the 4th or 3rd floor, and yeah.
And when you decided to go to the stairwell, did you know you were going to kill her then, or did you go there for another reason?
I went down there to when we were going down the stairwell. I was thinking about it. Yes.
Okay, and what did you say to Lizzie? Like, what was the reason for going to the stairwell?
To talk about she was going to I accused her of cheating. I didn't talk to her about what I saw with her with my mother. I didn't talk to her about it. I should have see where her head is, but I didn't. And then sorry.
That's okay. Hey, Leo.
Yeah.
How long do you think that you were talking with Lizzie on the stairs before you strangled her? Just approximately. Like it was for an hour? Was it less than that? More than that?
We were talking maybe 10 10, 15 minutes.
And when she was dead and you made sure she was dead, you said that you
Yeah.
took her purse,
Yeah,
and what was the other thing you took?
just and her phone.
Her purse and her phone.
Yeah.
And where did you go? Or let me ask you this, how did her body look when you left? What was her position like, and what did her body look like?
She was, of course, she was lifeless. Her eyes were, they were bloodshot, but they were like she was gone. She was gone.
And was she on her back, her stomach, her side, still sitting? What was her position?
She was on her back on the staircase, so it was, slanted.
And could you see any visible injuries on her?
No, just blood.
Where was the blood?
Out her nose.
Okay.
As mentioned before, unlike most interrogations, this one's line of questioning isn't attempting to look for inconsistencies with which to trap the suspect, but to look for inconsistencies with which to label Driver's story as false. In other words, the detectives are looking for a reason to dismiss Driver as a suspect. At this point, the detectives cannot consider this man a reliable narrator unless all of the facts line up perfectly. Their main goal is to dismiss this confession as a false confession, which would reclose the case. Yet, so far, nothing he has said during this recorded interview contradicts the evidence that the police have.
That was coming from my nose.
Okay. And so you took her purse and her cell phone, and where did you go?
I took her to. I took the purse, and took the purse. I took the purse and threw it in the bushes.
Okay. What bushes were at?
By Howell and No, not Martin. I'm thinking Martin. Howell and
Madison?
where's that?
Was it right next to the apartment building or somewhere else?
Howell and no, it was somewhere else. It was Howell and 23rd.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what'd you do with her phone?
I used it. No, I didn't use it, but I don't know. I don't know what I did with it.
Okay. And you said something about taking out all her credit cards and stuff out of her purse.
I took her cards out and took it with me. I was going to buy something. I didn't mention that to the other police officers. I was going to buy something with it, and then I thought it was not right to do that.
Okay.
So I threw it in the trash after that.
Okay. At a different location.
Yeah.
And did you ever share what you did with anybody? Did you ever talk to your mom or to a friend or to a counselor about this?
No.
Never told anybody?
A murderer who keeps quiet for 5 years is quite rare. This goes doubly so for a mentally unstable person who can often be coaxed into talking about things that a psychologically stable person, any confidant, increases the likelihood that the confession will be seen as false.
Do you ever write it down in a journal or anything?
Yeah.
And where did you write it down?
I lost the journal.
Okay. And what made you decide that you should come in and talk to police about this tonight?
Well, Well, you know, I was thinking about doing that for a long time. And then I was thinking about doing it a long time. I wanted to figure out how what happened to my family, and you know, I mean, I have my suspicion. I mean, like, it is my fault. First of all, it is my fault, because I laid hands on her. You know, if it wasn't for me bringing Lizzie around, my sister would be in a much better spot. A very good spot, and I was trying to figure out
So Leo, tell me about your mental health diagnosis. You talked about having a psychosis. What have you been diagnosed with? Is it schizophrenia, bipolar, depression, something else?
Paranoid schizophrenia.
Paranoid schizophrenia.
Yeah.
And when were you diagnosed with that? Like back then when this happened, had you already been diagnosed?
When I came back to her last, so a couple months after.
A couple months after she died?
No, after I got back with her.
A couple months after you got back with her?
Yeah.
Do you remember when that was?
So, 2000.
She died in March of 2015.
2 months. 2 months. She so I was diagnosed with schizophrenia. I was diagnosed with schizophrenia after I met with her. So when I was working, maybe a month or two, I started seeing things after I was with her.
After you were with her, and you said that you dated her for 6 years?
On and off 6 years.
On and off, okay. So, but you said it was after you got back with her. So how, do you remember about how long before she died that you had been diagnosed?
I'm sorry.
Do you remember what year you were diagnosed as being schizophrenic? It's okay if you don't remember.
I'm thinking.
Okay.
The day she died?
Were you on medication on the day that Lizzie died? Or had a doctor given you medication for your schizophrenia?
At that time it was
Pardon? Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you. So the question was, were you taking meds at the time that Lizzie died?
Don't remember. I don't remember.
Okay. Are you taking medication now?
I'm on medication.
What do you take now?
I take Cogentin.
Say that again? Cogentin?
Cogentin.
Cogentin?
Yes.
And is that for schizophrenia?
Yeah. No, that's for muscle relaxer.
That's a muscle relaxer. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you take any medication for your schizophrenia?
Consta.
Say that again?
Consta.
Consta.
Yeah, just twice a week injection.
Oh, it's an injection twice a week. Where do you get your mental health care? Do you go to Sound Mental Health or Harborview or somewhere else?
Yeah.
Which-
Sound.
Sound Mental Health.
Yes.
Okay. What's the name of your doctor?
Arica.
Arica?
Yeah.
Does it start with an A or an O or?
Arica. I think.
Okay. Is it a man or a woman?
A.
A woman. Okay. And you get injections twice a week. Have you been being good about getting those injections?
Yes.
When's the last time that you had one?
Two weeks ago.
The silence on the part of the female detective is probably caused by a mix of two thoughts. One, that this suspect, now admitting to not have taken his schizophrenia meds, is unlikely to be seen as reliable, and that this interview could easily just have gone from documenting a murder confession to documenting the delusions of a mentally ill man. And two, genuine concern for this man, who's clearly in the need of a mental health intervention, having skipped 4 medication appointments in a row. The detective is probably torn between her job, which is getting a proper confession, and empathy for this man, which could lead her to helping him get back in contact with his medication providers. But she ultimately opts for upholding her duties as a detective, and the interrogation continues.
So are you behind in getting them if you're supposed to take them every two times a week? And you last got it 2 weeks ago? Did you miss your appointment?
No.
Okay, so you got your shot when you were supposed to get your shot?
I didn't miss much.
Do you go the same day every week?
I go there to the same place. I go there to the same place.
And what day do you get your shot with your medication, or if you missed a dose?
No, I didn't miss a dose. I had a shot.
Okay, that's good. And then does that help you to think more clearly when you get the medication?
Yes. No. it helps. My thoughts, this is like my thought, I feel like I'm being blocked, like, or my thoughts being blocked. It's like, it's just like it works.
It works,
Yeah.
okay. And while we've talked tonight, or I guess it's this morning, it's early morning hours, have you understood the questions we've asked you? Has our conversation made sense?
In a way, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure. I try to help.
You've been doing a good job explaining things to us. Is there anything that I have said to you or asked you that you haven't understood?
No.
Okay. And is the stuff that you told us about what happened with Lizzie, is that true?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there anything that we haven't talked about what happened with Lizzie that is important for us to know? And I guess one thing I didn't ask you, before you killed Lizzie, were you guys or did she do anything to you? Did she assault you or attack you or do anything like that? Or was it just kind of like you said, you stood up and decided to strangle her?
To me.
So you didn't get hurt?
No. Nothing happened to me.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like when I'm having psychosis, like when I have psychosis, I felt like I was, I heard voices saying, remember, like I have to remember something.
And is that happening now, or was it happening that day?
No, I'm just confused. I'm very confused.
What are you confused about?
Just I don't know. It's, oh
Haley.
my God.
That's why. Hey, Leo.
Yeah.
What's your address right now? Do you have a place that you stay?
Yeah.
What's your address? And who do you live with right now?
By myself.
By yourself? And what's your phone number? Do you have a cell phone?
Yeah.
What's your cell phone number?
Uh,
Okay. And where's your mom live now?
she's dead.
Oh, I'm sorry. She passed away.
Yeah.
When did she pass away?
19, 2017.
Okay. How did she die? Was she sick or?
She had a heart attack.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. That's what was told to yeah.
That's what they.
And I guess she was wanted to stay. She moved from Virginia to Germany, and that's where she died. Germany.
Was your mom German?
Yes.
Is that your dad was in the army?
Yes.
Okay. Is your dad still alive?
No, he passed away a long time ago.
Okay. Were your parents divorced, or did they raise you together?
Raised us together until I was 14, I think, and then we separated.
Okay. And you said something about a sister. How many? Do you have brothers and sisters? What have you got? One
I
sister?
have a sister and a brother.
A sister and a brother. Are they in Seattle?
My sister's in Olympia, and my brother is in Seattle.
Okay. Can we get their names? We're not going to call them, but sometimes it's nice for us to have like emergency contacts for people. What's your sister's name?
Tova.
Say that?
Tova.
Tova, T-O-V-A?
Yeah.
And what's her last name?
Driver.
Oh, same as you. Do you know what her date of birth is?
May 3rd. May 3rd. May 2nd. May 2nd. May 2nd, 1995, I think.
Do you know her phone number by heart or no?
No.
Yeah, nobody knows numbers. What's your brother's name?
Edmund Driver.
Edmund Driver. And where's he live?
He's at Harborview right now.
Oh, he's in Harborview?
Yeah.
What's wrong with him?
He's they moved him from the nursing home to there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to Harborview. Yes.
Is he sick or does he have an injury?
They didn't. They moved him from the nursing home to another nursing home.
Got it.
They didn't want him there.
And this is your brother we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so because he's kind of young to be in a nursing home, right?
Well, that's all they
Pardon?
can do.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they.
What's his condition? Like, what's wrong with him that he needs to be in a nursing home?
Friedreich's ataxia.
Okay.
It's Friedreich's ataxia.
I don't know what that is.
It's kind of like muscular dystrophy.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Sounds like you've had a rough time with some stuff in your family.
Yeah.
Leo, how do you feel about, I want you to think about something for a minute, and we're gonna go and talk and see if we have other questions. How do you feel about signing a release for us to get your mental health records and touch base with your, like, do you have a case manager besides your doctor that you gave us? Or is that something that will be okay with you?
I mean,
Just think about it for a minute. We're gonna.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, just think about it for a second. I did have one quick
Oh yeah,
question.
of course. I'm sorry.
Before this happened with Lizzie, were you guys getting high in the stairway?
No.
Okay.
You can, yeah, and as far as records, Washington, yeah.
Okay, we'll come back and talk to you about it. When we ask to get people's like medical records when they're injured or mental health records, we have to have them sign a release. And so just think about it. We'll be right back. Okay. You doing all right? Need the bathroom or anything right now? All right. How do you feel about telling us about what happened? Do you feel better that you told the truth, or it sounds like this has been bothering you for a long time?
Yeah, I'm very confused.
Okay. Let me ask you this. You said that it's true what happened. How sure are you that it really happened? Because you do have psychosis sometimes. Do you know for sure that you killed her?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, definitely 100%.
Okay. All right. We'll be right back. You hang in there, okay?
Yeah.
Sometimes that's good to you at that door.
Sorry.
No, not at all. Thank you for waiting. We just have like one or two follow-up questions, and then we want to discuss having you sign a release. And you don't have to do that, but we'll talk about it. You said that if you had not brought Lizzie around, Tova would be in a much better spot. So what? Explain that. Like, what's your concern about Tova?
It's my sister.
Yeah, but how did bringing Lizzie around put her in a bad spot?
She to take revenge on me. She's at the time when she met my sister. My sister was young and beautiful. The way she looked at her was like not like in a sexual way, but she looked like a predator. As soon as she gave my sister that phone, everything went to hell. I mean, I never hang out downtown. A lot of people that hang out downtown were showing up.
So Lizzie gave your sister a phone?
Yes.
Okay. And then your sister got in with a bad crowd, sounds like maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. Tova was at the apartment that day when Lizzie was found. Was Tova there before you killed Lizzie? Before you killed Lizzie? Like, do you remember seeing her that day?
No, I remember seeing her, but no, I remember seeing her.
Okay, that's all right.
No, I remember seeing her.
Have you and Tova ever talked about this?
No.
Did Lizzie have one cell phone or more than one cell phone?
One.
Okay.
What's the phone?
And you took it away from her body, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Do you remember what it looked like?
It was a flip phone, sorry, flip phone.
Okay. And did you have a cell phone at that time?
Don't know. I don't remember. No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
And I guess you told us why you took like her credit cards and stuff out of her purse, but why did you take her cell phone?
Well, because I was my mother told me before I left, she said, call me, if you're never coming back, call me.
If you're never coming back, call
Yeah.
me.
And,
Okay.
And so, I mean, I'm not putting both of them together like it's related to the murder or not me killing her, but I just associate the two.
Okay.
Like I thought it has something to do with like a coincidence, but I saw it as a message or something.
Okay. That your mom said that to you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Jen, you have any other questions? So I'm going to read this to you, and then I'm going to let you read this. But this is a form for people to say, yes, it's okay for the police to get my medical records. And in this case, medical and mental health records. And this is not something you have to sign. It's completely up to you. But we'd like to have the opportunity to, if we go to a doctor or we go to like your mental health person and say, we want to talk to you about Leo, they would say, we can't talk to you unless he has signed a release. So that's why we're interested in asking for permission both to get some records in writing and to talk to them, okay? And so it says, I, Leo Driver, hereby authorize, and I'm putting Harborview and Sound Mental Health, to release the following medical records information. So from January 1st, 2015 to June 1st, 2020, just till the first of a prosecution. Information to be released. It says summary of medical history and treatment, nurse doctor notes, social worker notes, ER records, lab tests, dental records, radiology records, photographs, other. And under other, I'm going to write down mental health treatment. It says, I understand that the information in my health record may include information relating to sexually transmitted disease or AIDS or HIV, My health record may also include information about behavioral or mental health services and treatment for alcohol and drug abuse. By checking the box at the end of the sentence, I choose to exclude the more sensitive information about behavioral or mental health services and treatment for alcohol and drug use. I understand I may be charged an additional fee to remove this information. Health information shall be released to the Seattle Police Department. In addition, medical facility staff may discuss my medical condition and any treatment with the assigned detective, assigned prosecutor, or either of their designees. I understand that the authorization expires in 18 months after the date of injury or after the sentencing of any criminal case filed as a result of the injury, unless otherwise specified, and that the disclosed information is protected under state and federal law. Please be aware that once the healthcare provider named above discloses healthcare information, per your instructions, the information is subject to redisclosure and may no longer be protected. I reserve the right to revoke authorization in writing at any time prior to the 18-month expiration, except to the extent that the facility which is to release the information has already taken action in accordance. What that means is you can cancel it, except for if they've already given it to us, you can't cancel it. I understand I do not have to sign this authorization in order to obtain health care benefits, treatment, payment, or enrollment. So if it's okay with you that we get your mental health records and your medical records, we're interested in your mental health primarily. I'm going to ask you to sign this. You don't have to. It's up to you. Okay? So feel free to read that. If you decide that you want to sign it, this is where you sign.
You know, I wanted to say that it took so long.
Of course, yeah. You need a dry mouth after all this talking.
Well, um, um, so my psychosis, I thought like I was being controlled.
Sorry, you lost what control?
I was like, well, I thought I was being, like, I was suspicious about, like my behaviors that day when I did what I did, but it was like my psychosis. It was like then again, I did this because it's what I wanted to do. So, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And what's going to happen, Leo, today is, just so you know, you're not going to be put into jail, because we need to kind of look into this a little bit more, you know? So when we're done talking, we're gonna let you leave here, and if you want a ride back to your home, we can arrange for that. But we need to look into it and talk to some doctors about the injuries and things like that, okay? So I want to make sure that I don't know if you have a history of suicide attempts, but I want to make sure you're not having feelings of hurting yourself or doing anything like that right now.
No, I really like to sit in prison.
Okay.
I really do like to.
And we'll be in touch with you. You gave us your phone number and your address. Is there any other way to get a hold of you? Like, do you have email, or do you have somebody that's a message that if we call you and you don't answer your phone, that we can call them and say, hey, have Leo call us? So that was a long question. Do you have an email?
I don't understand. That's why.
Okay. Do you have an email?
I do have an email, but I should be sitting in prison though.
Okay.
Really?
Okay. And I think that there are likely to be some consequences for what you did. I'm not saying that that nobody's going to hold you accountable. What I'm saying is that it's been 5 years since this happened. And so this is a lot of information that you gave us, and we always want to be very thorough. And so we have to look into what you've told us and do a little bit more investigation. And we might have some more questions for you in the future, and we or maybe another detective might contact you and say, hey, can we meet up and ask you some more questions? But for tonight, when we're done talking, we're gonna go ahead and let you go home, okay?
This isn't over, Leo. We just have, because it's 5 years old, we've got a lot of stuff that we have to go back and look up and reinvestigate. Do you understand? It's not like it happened yesterday and Lizzie's body is right there where we can look at the evidence, and we want to make sure that you're not feeling guilty about something that might have happened. We need to be able to prove that what you're telling us is true based on the evidence of her body, and we're going to have to go talk to the doctors about that.
Sometimes people come in here and tell us they've done things that they haven't done. And we believe you. We believe that what you're telling us is the truth. But we don't ever want to put somebody in jail and make a mistake. So we want to be real careful and make sure that we investigate, and then we'll get back to you, okay? Like Jeff said, this isn't over. And I know that you said that you want to go to prison and you feel like you should go to jail. But for tonight, you have a place to live, right? So for tonight, you can go back to your apartment and just maybe stay in touch with us. Does that sound fair?
Think of it as house arrest. Okay?
Yeah. Because of all the virus stuff, people have mostly been staying home anyway.
And before you leave, I'll give you my card, okay? And we'll make a deal where we have to talk to each other, like say every other day, to make sure we're staying in contact, okay? Like a probation officer kind of thing. How's that sound? So there's no sense in having you sit over there in the jail with all those other guys and maybe getting sick.
This is why I deserved it. I mean, I should
And I'm not saying that there's not gonna be consequences, okay? I'm just saying we need more time. And I don't think you're not gonna hurt anybody else, are you?
Oh, what if I do that though?
Well, I'm asking you, are you going to do that?
No,
Okay. Are you gonna hurt yourself?
no.
Okay. So,
Leo, we're not gonna ignore this.
no, it's not going away, and there will be consequences.
And you've gone 5 years without going to jail for this, right? So I think it's okay for you to wait a little while longer and make sure that everything is thoroughly investigated and that everybody's being fair to you and as well as getting justice for Lizzie, right? But you wouldn't want us to jump the gun and not do a good investigation. So I think it's a great idea maybe for you and Jeff to touch base on the phone a couple times a week. He can just give you a call and say like, how are you doing? You know, you're still around, you still at the same address. And we should be able to update you sometime in the next week or so, I think.
I don't think it's gonna take more than a week before we can come to some kind of conclusion with this.
Are you still staying at that apartment that you gave us?
This is where I stayed at. I mean, this is where I came from.
Okay, so you've got a place to go, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's a good idea, like Jeff said, maybe because of COVID and everything, just lay low and stay home. And if you need to call us, you can call us anytime if anything comes up. But we just want to make sure that you don't feel like you're going to hurt yourself or hurt anybody else. And just kind of hang tight. We definitely are going to talk to you in the near future, okay? Okay, let's change subjects for one quick second. Are you willing to sign this form to let us get your medical and your mental health records?
I'm not sure.
You don't have to. You just tell me yes or no. It's up to you. Leo, if you're not comfortable, you don't have to sign it. It's okay to tell me no if you don't want to sign it.
No. I'm not sure. I mean, like, I wanna like sign half, sign half, and then the other half leave it blank, so yes and no.
Okay. Well, we don't have a form like that, so we kind of have, you know, can we get your records or not is kind of the form we have.
Sucks.
So if you don't want to sign it, that's cool. You don't have to.
Oh man, to I'll just stop I was as honest as I could be.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I couldn't hear what you said.
I couldn't hear what you said, Leo.
I was honest as I could be.
Sure.
I'm very, I'm tired.
Okay. Do you want to not sign that then? You want to pass signing that?
I really don't know what to do.
Okay. So if you're undecided, we won't have you sign it, okay? But we can maybe just, do you have a, besides having your doctor that you see at Sound Mental Health, do you have a case manager or anybody else or a counselor? Or is that the only doctor you have up there?
I have a case manager.
What's your case manager's name?
Zach.
Zach?
Yes.
And is he at Sound Mental Health as well?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We're not going to tell people what we've discussed today. I don't want you to be worried about that. But, you know, sometimes if we are investigating, it's good for us to know who your support system is, you know?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna take this away, and we're gonna get you a ride home if you want it, or you're welcome to walk home. You know where you're at. You're at 5th and Cherry. And so you live, is it up on 18th? Is that what it was?
1723 East Olive, so yeah, 17 and Olive.
Okay. So is that Sound Mental Health housing? Or you just live really close to Sound Mental Health?
It's housing. It's right next to Sound Mental Health.
Yeah, it is right next to Sound Mental Health. I just made that connection. It's up to you if you want to walk home. It's kind of all uphill, or we can get you a ride. We're happy to give you a ride if you would like a ride, but sometimes people say, I don't want the police driving me around.
It's late.
You want a ride?
Yeah.
We'll get you a ride.
We'll get you a ride? Cool. Okay, do you want to give him a card?
Yeah, I'll go get a
I'm
card.
happy to give him mine as well.
I don't think I have any with me.
I'll give him mine, and I'll just write down your info. How's that?
Okay.
So my number's on the front, and I'm going to put Detective Mudd's on the back.
Nope, I got one.
Oh, you have one. All right.
There you go.
What's your number? I'm going to write it since I started writing it, so I know that. Well,
5559.
okay. So take those cards, and then you'll have our phone numbers, okay? And then sometime, so today is
I think it's Wednesday.
Wednesday
already.
morning.
No,
Sometime.
it's Tuesday. This is Tuesday.
It is only Tuesday morning.
Sorry.
Sometime in the next couple days, one of us will give you a call just to touch base, okay? And you can also call us anytime. And if we need to meet with you again, we'll let you know, okay?
So today's Tuesday. I'll call you tomorrow, Wednesday. Okay? And then why don't you call me on Friday? Okay, and we'll do every other day. All right? To keep in touch with each other. Does that sound fair?
Until
And until this is resolved one way or the other. I'll tell you on one of our phone calls if you can stop calling me. Okay?
Would it be easier if one of us just calls you every other day so you don't have to remember to call? Would you like that if we just call you and say, hey, we haven't forgotten about you?
Why don't we do that? I'll call you every other day. And I'll let you know when I'll stop bothering you.
Okay, I'll be up. I don't feel right. I mean.
I know, you thought that when you came in that we would put you in jail, and you were prepared for that.
Yes.
And that might still happen, but it's just not going to happen today, okay? But you did, I'll tell you what, Leo, we respect you a lot for coming in and telling the truth. That
You
means,
did
that
the
means,
right
that
thing.
means a lot, and you did the right thing. You absolutely did the right thing, okay? So you should feel good that you came to us and told us the truth. And like Jeff said, we need a few days to investigate and talk to the doctors. And then we're definitely gonna stay in touch. Jeff's gonna call you, and we're gonna follow up with you. And there may be a time that you do need to go to jail, okay?
Okay.
But you just, if you have questions for us, you call us anytime. But we'll be in close contact with you, okay?
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go. We're gonna go make arrangements for a ride. Those are yours. We've got some property of yours we need to return to you as well. Stay in this room for just a couple minutes.
After a discussion in private, the detectives determined that driver's confession was not reliable and that they would be sending him home. They tell him as much. However, this interrogation comes with a surprise twist. Upon contacting the medical examiner who 5 years earlier declared Elizabeth Wright's death as a drug overdose, the detectives learn that the medical examiner now believes that the cause of death is consistent with a strangling. The detectives are nevertheless still doubtful that Driver committed the murder, and so they call in the medical examiner to confirm whether Driver's description of the strangling is consistent with the autopsy.
Change of plans, Leo. Okay, this wasn't our idea, this is our boss. Okay, the doctor that worked on Lizzie after she was dead, okay, is gonna be in the office and within like an hour. Are you okay hanging out here for an hour until we can talk to the doctor? And then maybe we can get you to jail later. Maybe not. It may-
Yeah. We actually need you to stay until we talk to the doctor, okay? Is that okay?
Yeah.
And if you want to I know it's hard to get comfortable in here, but don't feel like you have to stay awake. If you want to put your head down on the table and take a nap, you can do that,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah.
You need
We've
something?
had people lay down on the floor and go to sleep. I mean, I know it's not comfortable and it's gross down there, but whatever you need to do to get comfortable, just, all right?
Do you need to use the bathroom, or would you want something else to drink?
I'm okay.
Okay, so it'll be like an hour, so it's going to be kind of a good amount of time. But we'll watch, and if you need something, just wave your arms, and we'll come check on you. Okay. Otherwise, we'll let you just kind of rest. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Leo.
Is anybody there? Huh? What? 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 Hello? Hello? What? What do you want? You leave me alone. You leave me alone. I'm tripping. Hello? Fuck! I hate this bullshit! Hey, why don't you go fuck off? Can I get something to eat? You gotta copy me, you punk? No, you're a punk. No, for real, you're a punk. You're a nobody. You gotta copy me. You can't be your own person. Hello? Why can't I? Hello?
Hey, Leo,
What's
were you
up?
hollering?
Yeah, I was wondering if I could. I'm hearing stuff like. So.
There's nobody in that room.
It
There is
sounds
a
like-
room back there, but there's nobody there right now. But there's people that are arriving at work and people walk around the hall so you can hear some noise.
I heard somebody. It sounded like me, almost.
You're probably hearing because there's microphones in this room.
It sounds like me.
It probably is. If you're talking in here, there's about a half a second delay between what you're saying and what the microphone's in there. Somebody must have turned it up on the computer in there. Remember when we told you that this room is audio and video recorded? Well, it was a long time ago. So I'm hearing a delay now myself.
Yeah. You're
Okay.
hearing, if you're talking or making noise, you're hearing the recording, the delay. We'll go turn that
I'll
down.
go turn it off so you won't hear yourself.
Okay. Sorry if that freaked you out. We're talking to the doctor right now, so it shouldn't be too much longer, okay?
May I get something to eat, please?
We have some more snacks. I don't have
Please.
any more sandwiches, but I will bring you something. Do you like chips or would you rather have candy? That's about all we got. We got some cheese and crackers. We got some
Chips.
candy and some chips.
Chips.
Okay, I'll bring you some chips. You can All right, get some Doritos.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That should take care of the echo.
Huh?
That should take care of the echo. Yeah, I'm not hearing it now, out here, so you should be okay.
All right.
Sorry if that freaks you out.
Hey, thank you so much for your patience. What we are going to do, if you're willing to do this for us, and it would be helpful for us to understand, is we brought a mannequin. And we want to understand the placement of your hands a little bit better, because you talked about in some detail about putting pressure on her. I can't remember if you said jugular, is that right? Or I don't know what you said.
Yes, jugular.
So we want to understand, because we're not doctors, you're not a doctor, we don't know if you're maybe putting your hands exactly where we picture that. So we're going to bring in this dummy, right, and have you demonstrate that for us. And so I know that this is probably kind of upsetting for you to do, and we appreciate you doing this, and we can't make her legs bend, so it's kind of awkward. But I want you to just, if you are willing to, stand up and don't be afraid to get close if you need to, and just put your hands where you put your hands, and then what we might do is kind of turn the chair to make sure it's captured on the camera. So, okay, so so keep your hands exactly there, and I'm going to kind of turn and keep your hands there, but kind of move with the chair. Take a couple steps to your right. Okay? Okay. So, and I'm going to actually twirl you and have you walk all the way around so that camera gets it too.
This way?
Yeah, let's see if we can make this work. Okay. Or you can let go and reapply if it makes it easier. Why don't you let go?
There we go.
Here, and I could just, you know what, I can hold like this. Does that make it easier or not? Or is it better in the chair? Okay. Okay. So you've got your right hand with your thumb going. So why don't you take your left hand off, and let's twirl this back this way, and keep your thumb, whoops, we want to go that way because there's a camera over there. So whoops, nope, go backwards.
A suggestion has been made to maybe put the mannequin on the table.
Okay, all right, that will do that. Go ahead and let go, Leo, thank you. Put the mannequin on the table. Which direction, Jeff?
I would imagine.
Facing him, right?
Towards the window.
Except for he's got to be able to get to, right? Should we
Yeah.
move the,
I'll get rid of the food.
okay. And I will put the dummy back there.
Leave the water here.
All right. So,
Oops.
but does it not have to face him? You know what I mean? Made like that. Okay. Let me do that. As best you can to show.
Yeah, maybe come around this way. Is that easier? Can you get an angle on that?
Could they have chosen a creepier mannequin? Like, I get that you're a police station and you don't have infinite resources, but you're bringing in a mannequin that would be nightmare fuel for a normal person and shoving it in the face of a schizophrenic man who's been off his medication for 2 weeks and is likely hearing voices. And why are they wheeling the mannequin in the room in a red tarp? They couldn't have found some extra clothes lying around in a closet somewhere to make the mannequin look not like a murdered sex worker. And couldn't they carry the mannequin in the room like a normal person would carry in any other object? Why wheel it in a pseudo wheelchair like it's alive but wounded? Are they actually trying to freak drive her out here?
Okay, well, you want to check with them and
Yeah.
see? Because we have a couple people observing who know more about this stuff than we do, and we're trying.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, so what you're showing us now, Leo, is that what you did at first?
This,
That was at first?
yeah.
And then you did that, tell me if I got this
And
right.
I was like doing this, well, I grabbed her, pushed her down, and then this kind of like, I was holding the sides, and then I squeezed with my thumbs.
Okay, and how long did you hold, do you think, before she passed out?
5 minutes.
Okay, before you said 1 or 2 minutes, but I know it's hard to estimate.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Sure, I understand. I appreciate you doing this. So show me again. You put your hands where is it? You put your hands until she passed out, and then show me if you changed any. First, do what you did first,
Yeah.
and then what did you do after she passed out? Did you change anything with your hands after she passed out, or did you just keep?
I just kept pressure.
You just kept pressure.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you have pressure in a certain area at the beginning that you changed at the end? You know what I mean? Like, was there more pressure on your thumbs or your fingers or something else? Or where's your pressure right now? Where's your main pressure?
It's on my thumb.
On your thumbs?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for showing us that. I know that's not easy. We appreciate that. That helps us understand. Thank you. I'm going to be right back. You want to stand by?
Yeah. There, your water back. Thank you. I know that wasn't an easy thing to do. We appreciate you going through that. Help the doctor. This was just COVID stuff. The other thing that came up, there was a question about whether or not there was any was there any problems prior to this with Lizzie? Not the day that this happened, but in the days leading up to it, was there any fights between you and her? Any injuries to Lizzie leading up to this? Nothing? Okay.
Did you ask him about the
Yeah.
previous?
Yep, no.
You guys never had any domestic violence assault between you before this?
I did hit her.
Okay. Where'd you hit her at?
With a belt.
With a bell?
Yeah.
Where on her body?
Back.
Okay. How long ago or how long before she got killed did that happen? Was it close?
Maybe months.
Months?
Yeah.
Anything happen like within the week before she died that could have hurt her, like in her back or? Okay. Anybody else assault her that you know about? Did she ever tell you anybody else did anything to her?
No.
Okay. And what about her assaulting you? Did she ever assault you?
She made gestures, but never.
Never hurt you?
No. She didn't. She never laid hands on me.
Okay. We don't always ask the right question. Is there anything else that happened between you of a violent nature? Anybody ever take out knives or guns or anything like that between the two of you? I know you talked about the belt.
No. Well, yeah. I did bring out a knife. I held it to her stomach.
Okay. And how long before she died did that happen?
Months.
Months. Did you cut her with it?
No.
Okay.
I didn't inflict pain on her.
Okay. Anything else?
So
Okay.
that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you, Leo, for answering our questions, and thank you for demonstrating, because I know that that could be upsetting. Are you doing all right?
I'm frustrated.
What are you frustrated about?
I just,
Probably waiting in the room a really long time.
I guess it's, yeah, I'm just doing the right thing, and I just want peace. I mean,
I know. We're working it out, okay? We'll have an update for you soon. Hang in there a few more minutes, okay?
yeah.
Thank you. This works. Okay, Leo, this is the last thing, I promise. This is Dr. Herrick. Dr. Herrick is the King County Medical Examiner. And
Hi, Leo.
He's the person who examined Lizzie after she died to kind of figure out how she died. And he was in the other room watching, but he couldn't see very well. And so he's asked if you would be willing to maybe show again while he can see, and we'll take a couple pictures. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
To help him understand. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I'm
So we're gonna- and Dr.
Dr.
Harrop,
Richard
if-
Harrop. Sorry to
And we're going to put it on the table.
put you through this again. You did a nice demonstration for...
He did. He just couldn't see very well. So let's. We had it on. Is it better if she faces it, if the dummy faces you? Does that make it better or not? Because we want you to be able to. So just yeah, you can sit that wherever. Just show where you had your. And you move the dummy how you need to show. Do you? Because you said you pushed her back. So why don't we go ahead? Since you pushed her back, why don't we push her back?
Okay.
And we'll take a couple pictures, so just hold that. And can you get, Jeff, we can move out of the way.
Okay, you looking for the straight down angle back?
Yeah. Can I see?
Here, why don't we,
Oh,
well,
be careful, dude.
We can work on the other side of it here. So. There we go.
what's your question, Dr. Harrop?
Well, Leo, in your neck, you can feel these muscles coming down.
Yeah.
Were your thumbs sort of on the, see how those muscles are? You can feel on your own neck, there's a muscle that comes down like that. Were your thumbs on the inside or outside or on top of that muscle, do you think?
My hands were just around the neck. And
Just
then,
around, but basically, yeah.
Yeah, and then I squeezed on the side. I felt like I knew. At first, I didn't know what I was doing, but I felt like I knew what I was doing.
You just, basically, you're putting a lot of pressure mostly around your neck. Huh?
Yeah, like on the sides and
You can grab again if it helps you.
on the sides, and then my thumb.
Mhm.
So first on the side until she passed out, and then
Mhm.
thumb pushing down on the throat.
If you're medically uneducated, as I am, it might sound as though squeezing the sides of the neck is the wrong way to strangle someone. I asked my wife, who is a nurse, and she confirmed that you can indeed make someone unconscious from applying pressure to the sides of the neck. I asked her to demonstrate on me to confirm, and yes, driver's description does check out.
Could you tell, was she breathing at all, or
She stopped breathing
very fast, or after a while, or what?
after 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Was she already unconscious when she stopped breathing? You know what I mean? You said like her eyes were open.
She was unconscious.
Mhm.
She passed out, and well, I can't tell if she. I can't tell if she had stopped breathing before I pushed my thumb down on her throat, or it was after I noticed she stopped breathing, and I figured out that
Were you on top of her like that, or to the side?
on top of her like that.
Okay. Were you putting a weight on her?
Yes,
Putting weight on her?
yes.
Were your knees on the outside of her belly, say?
She was
I
on the
was-
stair.
She was, yeah. So the stairs were like this,
Uh-huh.
and I was like on top of her. I
And
wasn't
she's
laying on her.
going up the heading up the stairs?
Yeah, So her head was aiming up the stairs.
And so you just started crouching over like that?
Yeah.
Did you say that you were laying on her, or
I
you were
wasn't
not
laying-
laying
I
on her?
was not laying.
Okay,
You just-
not laying on her.
Your body was on top of her, but not putting weight on her.
Yeah.
Huh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you thought first you didn't know what you're doing, and then you sort of felt like that was the way to go? I mean, you thought that was the way to strangle her?
Yeah.
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 I mean, you haven't done anything like this before, have you?
No. No.
Oh.
First time.
First time? One thing I was wondering, she has inside she's got a bruise on her spleen, which would be there, and so just wondering if anybody ever did complain of any pain over there before, a few days before, somebody kick her or give her a knee drop or anything? So is she getting high?
We were that day,
Doing what?
heroin.
Heroin?
Leo, was there crack too? I know we talked about a crack
We
pipe.
had crack, yeah.
Smoking?
Yeah.
Was she pretty zoned out on that? Was she sort of out of it in any way? I know it's been some time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, when people when they're strangled, they like go like that. Did you see any the tongue come out or anything like that?
No.
Just regular. And she didn't really put up much of a fight or anything.
No.
Does she look scared?
Yes. She was frightened.
You think she knew she was going to die?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, okay. Just wanted to.
While we shouldn't expect him to uphold the standards to which the detectives hold themselves, the medical examiner nonetheless asks poor questions in the context of determining Driver's involvement in Elizabeth's death. He has asked several leading questions that are inappropriate for questioning a mentally unstable person, and some of his questions are rather off-topic in determining whether Driver could have caused the wounds found in the autopsy. Questions such as, did she look scared? And do you think she knew she was going to die? Maybe there's something to these questions that I'm missing. I don't know. But overall, the medical examiner's line of questioning doesn't seem very professional and could be targeted by the defense should this case go to court.
Talk to you. I really appreciate your letting me know.
Does that answer your questions about the position of the neck and everything? You
Yeah.
feel like you understand?
Detective's gotten the pictures.
Okay.
so,
Thank you, Leo. We appreciate that. I know that was difficult.
Yeah. Okay, Leo. How you feeling?
Anxious. I just want peace
Yeah. Have you been pretty upset about that?
in general.
Yeah. Was she your friend?
A girlfriend.
All right. Well, I hope you find peace. Okay.
Thank you, Leo.
Yeah.
Shows a lot of character to tell the truth, okay? Hang in there, buddy.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to wake you. I just want to keep you up to date on what's going on. All right? Decision has been made to go ahead and take you across the street and book you into jail today. All right? You okay with that? Oh, which means now we got some paperwork to do. The paperwork's almost done. Got a couple of phone calls to make and we'll get you out of here. Probably talking about a half hour, 45 minutes. Okay?
Do I have to change my mind?
Hmm?
Do I have to change my mind?
Well, about the whole thing? Yeah, I think it's a little bit late for that. So, I just want to let you know what was going on, so you wouldn't be sitting back here getting frustrated more with us, because I know we've taken a lot of your night, and it seems like we've been moving pretty slow, but for a 5-year-old case, it's been going pretty quick. All right? Do you need anything else? Need to go to the restroom or anything?
No, I was just thinking about going about. I'm just worried that I feel like going back to my apartment.
Okay, well, that's no longer an option, Leo. Okay? All right, so I just wanted to keep you up to speed, all right?
Yeah. No problem.
All right, Leo, we're out of here. It is 8:04 a.m. on May 5th, 2020. I gotta say that for the recorder. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and put that mask the rest of the way on. We just gotta go across the street.
While the detectives were ready to release Driver, their discussion with the medical examiner, who reported that Driver's strangling demonstration on the mannequin was consistent with the autopsy results, changed their mind. The cause of death was thus changed to manual strangulation. With a confession and support from the medical expert, the detectives had enough to put Driver in prison, where he remained for 2 years. Why only 2 years? Well, that's the second surprise twist in this case. Once in prison, Driver was able to get adequate and consistent medication for his schizophrenia. Feeling right in mind, he told his lawyers that he had not, in fact, killed Elizabeth Wright, but at the time felt that if he had confessed, bad things would stop happening to his family. An irrational belief of the style common in schizophrenics. Driver recanting his confession, Driver being off his medication and in a delusional state when making his confession, and one more twist, the same medical examiner again reopening the autopsy to determine that the wounds he had seen on Elizabeth's neck were likely not caused by strangulation, but by medics attempting to resuscitate her. All led to Driver's confession being deemed a false confession. Driver was subsequently released from prison. That's all there is to this case. A massive thanks goes out to my Patreon subscribers who funded my new audio equipment. I'm still working out the kinks in ambient noise, but I hope that you guys think that my audio setup is getting better. New videos on the way. See you guys soon.